Heading into Money in the Bank, I was excited. I went into the show thinking that it was going to be a really good show. And I left the show, once again, in huge disappointment for many fucking reasons. To me, Money in the Bank kind of replaces Survivor Series as a Big Four pay-per-view. So you would think that this Money in the Bank would deliver after a consecutive streak of terrible pay-per-views from WWE. And of course it didn't. You really had 3 matches on this show that I thought were going to deliver and be really good quality matches, and they weren't. And you had a show that I thought was going to be a really good bounce-back show from the abortion of a pay-per-view that was Elimination Chamber, and again, it wasn't. So let's talk about Money in the Bank then. On the pre-show, you have RTruth versus King Barrett. I gave no fucks about this match, and at no point in time did I think RTruth would actually win the match. You're trying to build up King Barrett as not a top heel, but a big heel in the company. So the best way to do that is to have him lose to RTruth. Of all fucking people, RTruth. That's the only thing I have to say about this match. I really didn't care. Then you open up the actual show with the match that the show is named after, the Money in the Bank ladder match. Not a good match. They didn't go nearly to the extreme that they should have, especially considering that you had 3 spot monkeys in the match, aka Kofi, Neville, and Dolph Ziggler. And the finish of this match is the reason why I didn't like this match. Now, to be fair, I thought that the only other guy that was going to win this match other than Roman Reigns was going to be Sheamus. So, when it comes to that, I wasn't really disappointed. But of all fucking ways to win, you just have him claw Neville's eyes out to win the match. Like, you couldn't have been a little bit more creative than that. And this match just felt really lackluster. Like, nothing about this match. Like I said, you had 3 spot monkeys in this match, and they didn't do anything. This match really falls short of a Money in the Bank ladder match in terms of its extreme feeling, its extreme stipulation, if you get what I'm saying. There was really nothing that stood out in this match. It just felt like a normal match with a fucking ladder in the ring. Like, it just wasn't a good match to me. The finish of it was terrible, but I did feel that the right guy did win. Then you get to the Divas match, and what was my original shit break turned into me watching a Divas match. And wasn't a terrible match, but the finish again was fucking awful. Why do we need to do Twin Magic? Why? I feel like Twin Magic is old, it's overused, it's overplayed, it's repeated. It's just fucking awful. Especially if you look at both Bella Twins. One has the larger ass, one has the bigger breasts, one has her hair fucking down, the other has her hair in a fucking ponytail. So you would think that, hey assholes, you would really think that the ref would notice that, and of course he didn't. But this match was just another abortion of a Divas match. That's all I have to say about this match. Ryback versus The Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship. I didn't care about this match, and I certainly didn't care when I saw that Big Show went over in a cheap-ass way. It made absolutely no sense. It was completely ridiculous. I could tell Vince's fingerprints were all over this. This was a terrible match with an awful finish. And then the Primetime Players win their tag team championships for the first time. Solid match, nothing spectacular. I felt that the right team went over. I didn't really mind. It was pretty much, it wasn't the match of the night, obviously. And I'll get to that match of the night in a second. But it served its purpose as a space filler. It was a good match. The crowd was kind of behind it, so you can't really complain about the match. I skipped over Owens versus Cena because I wanted to talk about that last. The main event. Ambrose versus Rollins, I believe it's part 4 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in this ladder match. And if you talk about not going to the extreme enough in the Money in the Bank ladder match, what the fuck was this match? It was literally a one-on-one match with a fucking ladder in the ring and nothing else. This match was not a good match, especially considering the two guys that are in it, and they've had, 3 solidly good, if not great, matches. One at SummerSlam last year, one at Hell in a Cell last year, and then the one at the Chamber. And that's the best you can do. It was a really weak ending to the show. In terms of the finish, another weak finish. Just in my opinion. Okay, fine. You have Seth Rollins go over dominant and whatever. You have him finally prove that he can win without somebody in his corner. But of all the fucking things you did to Dean Ambrose, and they still had to have Dean Ambrose go back to the top of the ladder. And they both come down with the fucking title at the same time. But Rollins is the one that grabs the title out of Ambrose's hands. A ridiculous finish. That is all I have to say about this match. I was really disappointed with this match. I thought that this match would have delivered. I thought that this match would have been really good quality. It really wasn't. It really fucking wasn't. That's a shame. Alright, I want to talk about Cena versus Owens last. One of the best matches this year. From a match quality standpoint. It actually had the feeling of a big match. I will say one thing about this pay-per-view. When it comes to crowd reaction, God, it blows fucking Elimination Chamber out of the water. Oh my God, the crowd was behind almost every single match in this show. So I will say from a crowd standpoint, it was a good show. I will say from a storytelling standpoint, it fucking sucked. I will say from a match quality standpoint, other than this match that I'm about to talk about, it fucking sucked. Cena versus Owens. A match of the year candidate. It got to a point during the match where people were actually starting to cheer for John fucking Cena. Can you believe that? Imagine if they went with this and they had Cena start to realize, hey, maybe Kevin Owens is the one guy I just can't beat. What do I have to do to defeat this guy? Do I have to get myself intentionally disqualified or counted out because I know I can't beat him? Imagine what storytelling that would have. That'd be a really good story, you would think. So, of course, we're not going to do that. Instead, you had a really good match, in my opinion, ruined by the finish. You had John Cena out of nowhere just hit the AA once again. It was a lot. It was really Bray Wyatt-esque. It was really Rusev-esque. I wouldn't necessarily say that Kevin Owens was given the Rusev treatment or the Bray Wyatt treatment. That's definitely not true, because now this does set up a third match between them, which I think is good. But the finish of this match, especially with the post-match attack from Kevin Owens to Cena, it just would have felt better if Owens won. And after the match, Cena comes to him and says, you know what? You are the one guy I cannot beat. That was a really good match. I'm going to shake your hands, and Kevin Owens is going to say, fuck you. I'm going to attack you in the middle of the ring. Deal with it. Comes across as a monster type of heel. Cena gives Cena an excuse to get off of television for a while. Just in my opinion. Ultimately, this pay-per-view, what could have been a 3-match show turned into a 1-match show. And even the 1 match had something wrong with it. And I'm talking about Cena versus Owens. I just think that if you were going to do a finish like that, It would have been a lot better if Cena lost. But I will say that if this does set up a third match, I'm really hoping the WWE waits until SummerSlam to do their big blow-off match. That would be really good. What else do I have to say about this pay-per-view? Honestly, nothing. It was just another filler show for me. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Thank you for tuning into this pay-per-view review. I'll be back for Battleground. I'll be back with a Q&A in a couple of hours, maybe. I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore. You know, honestly, wrestling has just become such a chore to watch as of late that I honestly don't even know why the hell I'm still doing it. I don't even know why I'm watching it. But, thanks again for tuning in. Later.